are at the last stage of our schedule 1. Schedule 1 contains part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, part 1, part 2, part 3 about professional misconduct, part 4 for other misconduct. Part 4 is applicable to all chartered accountants irrespective of whether they are in practice, whether they are in service, or whether they are simply sitting at home. Okay, so part 4. I will read the language as per the clause. A member of institute, whether in practice or not in practice, shall be deemed to be guilty of other misconduct. Deemed to be guilty of other misconduct if he is held guilty by any civil or criminal court for an offence punishable with imprisonment for a period less than 6 months, or in the opinion of counsel, bring disrepute to the profession or institute as a result of his action related, whether related to or not related to professional work. I hope that you couldn't understand nothing in this clause. It is stating that suppose a member of institute, he can be X, Y, or it can be Z. X means CA plus COP, Y means CA in service, Z means simply sitting CA at home. That is, he is simply sitting at home. That is, it can be a member of institute whether in practice or not in practice. If he is held guilty of an offence by civil or criminal court. So, such an offence can be identified or for which the order can be passed either by the civil court or criminal court for any traffic violation. Not for serious traffic violation or theft, which may be or simple theft, which may be or it can be criminal court, murder case. Okay, so if he is held guilty for an offence by civil or criminal court in which he is punishable with imprisonment plus only identification is not necessary plus punishment, that is conviction is necessary. Conviction even by 1 day is also covered as per what? Other misconduct. So punishment for an offence punishable with imprisonment. Imprisonment is compulsory. Conviction for a period of less than 6 months, that is even by 1 day, he will be deemed to be guilty of other misconduct as per clause 1 of part 4. Okay. That is, conviction from court is necessary. He has paid some fine which is not covered in there. That is, conviction for a period of less than 6 months is compulsory as per what? Clause 1 of part 4. For if he for holding or for making them to be guilty of other misconduct as per clause 1 of part 4. Then, in the opinion of counsel, bring disrepute to the profession or institute. That is, he is doing something. That's something we will explain. Okay. Now, just understand something. He is doing something. As a result of that something, disrepute is happening. Disrepute is happening to our CA profession or to our institute. Counsel think that as a result of his action or as a result of the something which has been done by him, it is bringing disrepute to our profession or institute. It may be related or not related to the professional work. It can be related to the professional work, or it may not be related to the professional work. It may be something personal, that is, it can be either personal or it can be either professional. If it brings disrepute to the profession or institute, he will be deemed to be guilty of professional, not professional, other misconduct. Okay, so this is what part 4 clause 1. I will give you some examples. Okay. I will explain once more. CA, that is a member of institute, whether in practice or not in practice, shall be deemed to be guilty of other misconduct if he is held guilty for an offence either by civil court or criminal court for which he is punishable with imprisonment for a period of less than 6 months, or in the opinion of counsel, it brings disrepute to the profession or institute as a result of his action, whether it may related or not related to the professional work. This is what clause 1 of part 4. I will give you examples. Suppose Mr. X, CA in practice, SEBI asked them to give some information to SEBI. Mr. X is not doing so. or RBI asks the same, or government authority asks the same, but X is not complying with their requirements, can X will be deemed to be guilty of professional misconduct? No, but X can be held guilty of other misconduct as per clause 1 of part 4. Okay, because it is bringing disrepute to our profession. Then X is using the work of articled assistant for personal purpose. Why we are appointing articles? For giving them stipend? No, to understand them professional work, and also as a part of what our CA profession. But that article assistant who has been appointed by X is using the work of such article assistant for his personal purpose. It is not allowed. Then he will be deemed to be guilty of other offense or other misconduct. Then dishonored check, that is our X has issued a check issued by X, who is a practicing chartered accountant, but the same check got dishonored, that is dishonored. Okay, the same check got dishonored because of insufficiency of fund. X will be deemed to be guilty of other misconduct. Okay, then client, he is the client of Mr. X or XYZ partnership firm. XYZ firm, they are doing the work of T. After few days, after the completion of the work, they got audit fee, but they identified that Z and T, there is not having that much of connection. It means that dushmani, enmity is existing in between Z and T. Z talked the same matter, shared the matter with X and Y. So X and Y agreed that we will give some punishment to them. Not punishment, दुश्मनी निकालने का एक कोई ना तो कोई रास्ता होगा, है ना. So X and Y agreed to retain the book of T, client. So as per our council guidelines, a practicing chartered accountant shall not retain the book of clients. It will be, in that case, the partnership firm, that is the all the CA will be deemed to be guilty of other offence. That is, retention of books of accounts of client is not permitted. Then we have already discussed that non-replying to the public authority. Then material misrepresentation at court. Some litigation is pending with respect of the client. They are providing wrong information with the court. So the CA will be deemed to be guilty of professional misconduct. Then another example. Suppose Mr. K, he is a chartered accountant, that is a member of institute. After all his success stories, he become the president of what? Bank. He is doing only one thing. He is granting loan only to his family. I mean, without any proper evidence, without any proper security, he is granting loan to his family. He will be deemed to be guilty of other misconduct as per clause 1 of part 4 first schedule. Okay. Another example. Suppose we know that they may have illiterate clients who is having so much money. T is a practicing chartered accountant. He is having that much of client. I mean, that type of client who is illiterate but having so much of money, they have to get more and more tax refund. Mr. T said to them that the refund that will be available as a part of this income tax filing will be my property. That is, actually it is not for you, it is for me. They are making such a wrong representation with the client. In that case also, Mr. T will be deemed to be guilty of other misconduct. Another example. Then they are providing some help to our client. Help means tax planning, or they are issuing authorized book. Nothing wrong in tax planning and issuing of authorized book, nothing wrong. But for what? The purpose we have to check. For black money saving. he will be deemed to be guilty of other misconduct. So here we explain several cases in which a member of the institute shall be deemed to be guilty of other misconduct: wrong representation with the court, non-replying or not providing the correct information to the public authority, using the work of articled assistant, then claiming tax refund as their right, then they are providing some authorizing some book, or they are issuing some books or tax planning mainly for the purpose of saving of black money, appointed as the bank manager and providing loan only to their relatives without any proper security, etc. So these are some examples of what other misconduct. Then civil court or criminal court has identified some offence of our member of institute, but they only imposed some fine on them. Only imposing of fine can they will be deemed to be guilty of other misconduct? No, conviction is compulsory. Conviction for a period of less than 6 months. It can be even 1 day. Okay, so this is what our clause 1 of part 4. I hope you have enjoyed the schedule 1. We discussed part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. Part 1, part 2, part 3 mainly for the other professional misconduct. Part 1 CA in practice, part 2 CA in service, part 3 generally, then part 4 other misconduct, that is applicable to all chartered accountants who is a member of, that is all person who is a member of institute. So here we are completed what our first schedule.